Hey guys, welcome back, and I'm still working on my ultimate 12-foot smokercraft boat rebuild. So, got a whole bunch of stuff done. I'm going to take you a little glimpse, a little sneak peek of everything that's been going on here. Today is going to be a fun project. Today is a weird project. It is going to be wave whackers or splash guards. You don't have to have them. I'm not in any crazy, big lakes and stuff like that. So it's not to the point where I'm going to be using them for going in reverse at like 1,000 miles an hour. It's just more the occasional wave that comes in because it's a smaller boat. It is the transom is kind of lower, so I built it up to have the motor sit a little bit better for actually getting on plane. But so far it works pretty well. So I'll grab the camera. I'll kind of give you a little overview of how everything looks so far, and go from there. So it's starting to come pretty close to being done. As you can see, the trolling motor's all on. Seats are in. I made these little kind of platforms for them to kind of get raised up a little bit. My electronics board, my finder, I still got a wire in, but everything else. And today's project is splash guards. So set this up here. So with the sun and shade, it's going to be a little bit harder to see, but I'll kind of explain what I've done. Easiest thing is just making the templates. Typical straight piece of cardboard. I slid it in from the top or from the bottom here. I have a little wedge here that I can actually kind of wedge it in to make it easier for me to hold. And like I said, basically all I do is I kind of line it up to where I want it. I measure my height. This is pretty high, but of course this is going to come down at about a 45-degree angle. So when the wave splashes it, it's going to kind of push it away from here as well. So the only thing I don't know is this upper corner here. So everything on here is tight. That's as close as I can get. I'm going to be having a little rubber, a really thin rubber that's going to be bolted to the inside here to kind of protect this area as well. So like I said, that's super tight here. This is nice and tight on this corner here, but with this 45, I may have to shave off a little bit of this corner here. Same thing on this corner. This corner is a little bit tougher. The hardest part is going to be this arm here. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, and once I get, there goes the template. Once I get that corner all put in and that angle in, it's going to be pretty easy to determine how I'm going to do it. Now, I figured out the way I think I'm going to do it. The easiest way is to take my piece out. I made a little bit of a section here. So this section here is this is all going to get wasted. So this isn't going to be part of it. It's just going to be this piece here. That's going to be the plexiglass itself. Or sorry, this piece up here. And then of course this will have that 45 angle onto it. These will have rubber grommets. This is going to be made of Lexan. I have a whole bunch of scraps of Lexan on there, so I'm not sure how well Lexan holds up to heat. So I'm gonna have to see. But the way I decide that's gonna work is I'm just gonna get 2 pieces of wood and get my angle for the top. I'm gonna get the plexiglass or Lexan, lay it on top, have my template on there, and then right where that seam is on the wood, I'm gonna let it sit so it's overhanging like this. I don't know if you can see that. Once it gets warm, this plastic will slowly go down, and then I can shape it to that angle. I have no idea how this is going to work. It's going to be in the oven, so it's going to be pretty interesting. These sizes should fit in there pretty easily. The wood, we'll see. I'm not saying it's the smartest way to do it, not saying it's the easiest way, but it's a trial and error. Like I said, I'm not sure how it's going to do. So I'm going to enter a whole bunch of videos in this little segment here, so hopefully that's going to work out for you. I'll try to do a little bit of a time lapse of the actual plastic sitting in there and actually what temperatures I use. I believe it's 200 or 210 degrees to actually let it kind of melt down. I'm not overly concerned if it all of a sudden starts to bubble or if it doesn't turn out that well. I mean, I can always paint it as well. But so this is going to be today's project. Like I said, the boat's coming together pretty well, so I'm going to have to clean everything up. It's not even close to the end of the day, but this is going to take the rest of the day for me. So I'll get that in, I'll take some videos, and hopefully I can enter either another video behind here or do a separate video for you. Alright, well, I tried doing the oven method. It didn't work very well, so I decided to do the blowtorch and brake on this one. I really like the angle of this. This is going to get cut down quite a bit. I don't like how long this is, but it turned out really well. The seam is really well. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on there. You'll have a little bit of bubbles if you overheat it, but I mean, realistically, it's just a wave whacker. It's not going to cause any issues. But I think it turned out really, really well. I'm going to show you how I did this on my last piece here. So basically, on my template that I have here, you just want to make sure that when your template's in, that's exactly where you want your bend, because otherwise it will not work at all. So basically what I'm going to do is put my mark here, put my mark here, and just for good measure, I know this Lexan piece is cut really good, so that's just 3.5, just under 3.5, so we're good. So that's going to be my brake line. I don't really want to draw a line all the way across. I don't really need it. So now I can get rid of the template. This piece here needs to be bent back. So this has to go this way. So this is going to sit on the boat this way here, because this is on the right side of the boat here. So this is going to get bent back here. So this is how I'll be installing it. This nice little wipe. Put this in. Now I line it up right to the dots, right where I need it to. So basically the line is going to be right on the seam. You want to give a little bit of room on there, just to make sure that you have enough room for when it bends, it's not going to curl around. Oh, where'd my little bolts go? Here it is. Bolt this down. So this is going to be a little bit of a lengthier video as well, trying to show you all the little steps, especially when I start to heat it. Now, it is a little bit windy, so hopefully it will work just as good as the other one there. Yeah, so this is going to go this way. So basically, just light this all up. Now the torch I have almost to where it's off. So just barely. And then heat. It is extremely durable, but as long as you kind of keep moving, it's not going to melt. I say with the wind, I'm not sure how well it's going to work. I actually did this in the garage. So it tended to be pretty easy. Once you start to see little bits of bubbles and stuff go on, kind of reduce the heat a bit. Then you can start to break or bend it. I go pretty slow until you get to that one point Now this table also isn't nearly as heavy as my other table, so I may have to put my hand down every so often and push it down while I bend. Okay, I'm gonna let it heat up some more. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit here, just get it a little quicker. There we go. So that was very painstaking. Like I said, it shouldn't usually take that long. Outside, it does make a big difference. I usually heat this up pretty well to get it to kind of adhere better. It's almost like when you're pouring a mold, you want to have the mold warm as well. So the fact that it's outside, this metal's cooling down a little bit too quick and it's taking a little bit longer of a time. So I may just do a small video on a little piece of Lexan to kind of show you how it works. But basically this peels out. There's some water on there. But same thing. You get the same kind of play with it. This one does have a little bit more marks on it because of the fact that it was scratched. I moved it too much. So we'll see. They do fit pretty well, pretty close to being together. So nice to see. So when you're drilling, same thing. You just want to make sure that you go really slow. I always use a brand new bit just to make sure that, you know, it's nice and sharp. And just in general, find out where you want, do your puncture. That's pretty much it. And even that, like, when you're looking at it, other than like the cloth, they're pretty nice holes. Like there's no sparring or anything on it as well. These are pre-measured for what I did on the boat. Of course, you guys could watch me measure, but that's kind of boring as well. So this is also another reason why I like working with Lexan better than Plexi. Plexi is very, very volatile. It breaks very easily. So I'll get the rest of these holes drilled. Not a lot of pressure. Let the drill do the work for you. And there we go. So other than some dust and debris, all my holes are in. That's exactly where I want them. I'll come take you to the boat here. So of course there's the other wave whacker on the other side there. Mind if I put this camera up here? Hopefully you guys can see it with the way that the sun is. So the way I have it set up is going to be right here. That's how I want it to mark everything. Right like this. So the good thing is it's out of the way. There's going to be absolutely no bumps or anything with the trolling motor, or sorry, the motor itself. This is really close. That's about a ½ inch to an inch. There's going to be some vibration with the motor, but it's not going to move much, so I'm not overly concerned with that. But so far, that's going to be that wave whacker. The other side was a little bit more difficult. Kind of show you on this side here. All right. Grease on there from the motor. So the hardest part with this one is trying to make sure it's going to clear all of this stuff. This one still has the good 40, I don't know, maybe 35, 40 degree bend on it. This one will sit like this. So that one's gonna sit like, oops, moved it. Anyway, you get the idea on how that's gonna sit here. Now the hard part with this one is because there's this big the big handle here, so I had to make sure it's gonna clear that. This is as tight as it's gonna go. It's not gonna bump into this, so that's why it has that really weird cutout here. I was thinking of doing another bend over here, like a second. There was just no way to really do that without it making it look funny, unless I did like a 2-tier system. Even then, who knows? I may do another one. Like I said, I can do this at all times. And the same thing with this. Not gonna hit at all. I'm not overly concerned with that. Alright guys, well, that's another project done. Wave whackers are installed. They turned out way better than I thought they would. Bending the Lexan was actually a lot easier. Took a little bit of finesse. I tried the whole oven thing. Oven thing didn't work very well. I made a whole bracket, like I'm sure you've seen the other video that's going to be attached here. Didn't work the best. So honestly, just on the regular brake, the metal brake, and then heating it up with a torch is probably the best way. But like I said, they turned out really well. The variance is really tight on it. So as you can see, these cutouts here is super tight. Like the thing will, or the outboard will move quite a bit, like it'll vibrate quite a bit, but it's not going to be enough that's going to cause any damage to this or affect my steering whatsoever. I don't know if I'm going to put any rubber grommets. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. It's tight enough. It's going to prevent most of the water that's going to be coming through here. So I'll show you the other one as well here. So that's how they turned out. Of course, it's really hard to see because, well, it's clear. But they turned out really well. This is the clearance for the handle, and then same thing with on this side here. I had to have a little bit of an angular clearance because of that part of the arm, and then up on top for the motor there. So that's as much as it's gonna go. But in general, like I said, I'm quite happy the way that they turned out. Very easy product or project to do. So it really depends on how comfy you are with doing that kind of stuff. But I honestly would tell anyone if they were trying to do it or looking for them, I know they can go for some pretty good money. The biggest thing is doing your templates and stuff, getting it all ready. So other than that, like I say, it's a good project to start. It's really nice to be able to have on your boat. Like I said, the boat's starting to come along, other than it being really messy. So it's coming along really well. That's a project that I always wanted to do, but you know, it's not needed, but it's nice to have done. So between that, next is going to be the live scope and electronics install. So hopefully that'll go just as easy. But that's going to be the day for me, and hopefully you'll stay tuned and check out my other videos.